Well, here I am, back at Skull and Bones. I did give this game a little bit of an attempt during the open beta right before it came out. I really played it for only about 30 minutes, wasn't feeling it the day I was trying to play it, and never came back to it. So I thought I'd sit down and give it another go and see what the game was all about and if it was worth playing or not. So the first thing I learned was your progress carries over. The downside to that is you're not able to start fresh. In other words, I have to continue with my beta play, even though during the beta I didn't pay a lot of attention to anything in that little mini tutorial that I'm kind of still in here. So that was a big drawback for me. I've played a lot of Ubisoft games, and being able to start fresh is a big thing for me. Now, I've seen other people talk about this as well, but one of the things I felt during the 30 minutes I played during the beta, and then when I started playing again, is this game is not really good about giving you information on what all the controls are and what you're supposed to be doing with your controls at the beginning. There's a lot of hunting and pecking and trying to feel my way around through the different menus and everything to find the controls that I needed. I don't like that. I mean, other Ubisoft tutorials, they give you very clear, concise steps through their little mini tutorials. This game, not so much. And the story just was not grabbing me at all. I don't know if the story gets better later in the game, but this early story, being picked up at sea in a shipwreck, these guys making you their pirate captain suddenly, you take an invitation to sail off to the pirate haven and try to make your fortune. Just really flimsy, kind of lame, poorly written. These voice actors are terrible. I mean, the character models themselves are terrible. This is on a PS5, next-gen console. And though the scenery in the background looks great, these character models, they look forced and janky and kind of childish and cartoonish. Definitely not what I was expecting from an Ubisoft game. You know, once I was able to muddle through the little tutorial and get to the first city, I was hoping that the game would have gotten a little better there, but I was met with the same crappy character models, the same terrible dialogue, janky controls, wandering around from point A to point B, doing the quick little early FedEx missions that are in every game like this. I totally get that. But there was nothing drawing me in. Nothing was grabbing me. Nothing was making me want to continue playing the game. And that's huge. If I'm going to shell out the money for a game, I want from the beginning to be ready to go. You know, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, from the beginning, the helicopter crash, you wake up half injured with a sidearm and you have to try to find the wreckage, and you're immediately meeting enemies, immediately interacting, immediately going to your weapons and having action. Same with the Division games. You're immediately at the beginning, even through the tutorials, you have action that grabs a hold of you, pulls you in, and makes you want to keep playing the game. This game doesn't. It's nothing. And, you know, the ships themselves are terrible. I never played Black Flag, so I'm not personally familiar with that beloved title and what Ubisoft did in that game with the naval combat and everything. I did play Odyssey, though, and my highlight of that game was the ship combat, the boarding the other ships. Just the sailing was really cool and really fun. So with that in mind, I was hoping this was going to be something similar. And it's not. It's not even close. Now, I know this isn't intended as a realistic naval simulation. I've played a lot of those in my life, and I love them. This, I know, was not geared for that. This game was trying to go with a balance between the sailing mechanics and the fun, not trying to go too heavy on the realism of the sailing, because that could be a slow-paced game with the aged ships. But it feels so arcadish. I mean, really, really arcadish. The ships move way too quick. They respond horribly. They just look terrible cutting through the seas. Right now, the footage in the background is basically the first mission, I guess you can call it a mission or quest, after the tutorial. You're supposed to go out and gather these 8 pieces of wood to bring back so you can work on building your first ship. Mundane, boring FedEx mission. But the problem is, there's no action going on here. It's sailing from point A to point B. There's other ships I see sailing around. My crew's making comments, but there's no action. No ships attacking me, no ships I can attack apparently. You know, at the very beginning of the game, there was a scripted opening scene where you're able to shoot your cannons at the British ships, but it was totally scripted. The outcome was the outcome no matter what. At this point in the game, I need some action. I need something to draw me in. I'm a pirate, for gosh sakes. I'm not just supposed to be pounding buttons, sailing my boat around. Where is my action? I know somebody's going to come along and say, but Patch, you didn't give the game enough time. You need to play it longer to let it draw you in. No, I don't. I want a game that grabs me at the beginning and holds me and keeps me coming back for more. I mean, the thousands of hours I have in other Ubisoft games and in Destiny and other things show that I will play a game if it draws me in. But it has to draw me in from the beginning. This game doesn't have that. And I'm not going to sit around and waste my gaming time waiting for something to happen. If they want my money, they need to bring it at the beginning. So in my opinion, this game is trash. Just utter trash. Now, that could just be because I'm a cranky old fart, but that's my opinion. So I'm not going to be giving Ubisoft my money for this. I'm not even going to finish the 8-hour trial on PlayStation. I am done with it. As always, thanks for coming by and watching my video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and think about subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything and it really helps this old fart out.